Good morning, gang. Last night, I did something I swore off years ago.
LSD, pegging, murder, carbs.
I looked up reviews of the store.
Oh, isn't this about that coupon not being honored?
Is this about a customer complaining about a sprained wrist after an arm wrestle? Because he didn't call Uncle.
Ooh, is it the one titled An Inconvenient Boner? Because that could be about anybody.
You know what I got a boner for? Helping people.
Dicey segue.
I never thought this could happen.
Really? In a used sporting goods store?
It's about to get weird in here, isn't it?
Yes.
Doesn't that make your spine tingle?
Oh, it makes something tingle.
You can't bring a tongue to a finger fight.
I'm gay. We bring both.
That is true.
Who is gonna buy a used mouth guard?
Not me. Just don't work.
Spit that out.
We do accept baseball bats, but, what is this?
What is it that you think sets it apart from other shows?
I think we really put a lot of effort into making it funny. Like Jessie and I and the whole writing room, it was like, we've really put a lot of effort into making it funny. I know that sounds simple, but like everything we had, if we went 4 lines without something being funny, we're like, how do we punch this up? How do we make a laugh go here? So I think the amount of effort we put into trying to make it as funny as possible, I think hopefully came across.
You know, his point of view coming into this sets it apart. You know, he's bringing his life experience as someone with who's hard of hearing, and it gives us a chance to tell stories that we could only tell on this show that, you know,
That's right.
can't necessarily tell on just any show.
Yes. And it's great to see the actual community in a show, you know, so that's congratulations on that. And also the fact that the cast, the kids in the store, they're quite a range of ages and personality types. And that's great too. There's a line that I really liked about him, and that is when he says, security cameras breed mistrust in the community. That is so optimistic. I think that's when I fell in love with the show. But you've got some killer lines in there, so you know all your hard work paid off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, and he's almost the opposite of a sitcom character in that he believes in the best in people. Would you comment on that, please?
I think I believe in the best in people, me as a real person, as a real DJ. He's probably a more heightened version of that, where he's definitely a bit more naive than me in terms of his optimism, but I think it's an extension of how I actually believe. I think most people are pretty good people, and I thought the idea of bringing a character like that to television, it kind of, it's a nice anchor for all the craziness and negativity or whatever happens around him. You know that this anchor is always going to try to make the best of the situation. So I feel like that's a cool little, a cool character to base the show around. And everybody's kind of positive, to be honest with you. I think we made a conscious effort to make the show make you feel good, but not at the expense of laughs or anything. Like, it's funny.
No, not at all.
Yeah, thank you. But we'd want it to feel positive, not just DJ, but even Wayne, who's probably the most negative character in the show, has his little redeeming qualities as you watch. So I think if people walk away from the show feeling positive overall, that's kind of one of our goals as well.
Jessie, there's so many wonderful events that happen, like the break outside, and it's full of people just doing nothing but enjoying themselves when they should be working. That and the Rocket Richard skates and the spleen.
That's the reaction we were looking for.
Yeah, actually, I have shivers. I'm seeing it on laid on the table. But it's just so unusual. I'm thinking that it would do well in the States, even though it has Canadian themes. What do you think, Jessie?
I think so. I hope so. You know, I hope down the road we sell it and it airs, who knows, all over the world. Would be great.
Can you give me some spoilers about what lies ahead?
The show gets, I think the pilot is probably the tamest episode of the season. It definitely goes, we took some big swings. We go to some pretty heightened places within the world of this grounded, you know, real store. But I think we wanted to embrace taking some chances comedically, and maybe pushing the limits a little bit at times. As far as spoilers,
I guess,
can we?
well, if you've watched 1 and 2, you know already that Cynthia has she's got some dark past that has reared its head a little bit. So throughout
That's in
this,
3.
oh, you don't know yet then. So Cynthia,
I'd take your word for it.
yeah,
Yes, but you know, the appraiser, I call her the appraiser woman. I can't think of her name, but she takes
She's called the
skates.
appraiser.
Yes. She takes the skates, and I just couldn't believe that. That's just annoyed me. So I hope she gets her comeuppance. Was that
Too.
I
That was
wanna go-
based on DJ's sort of has a stand-up bit, right, where you talk about how you're kind of useless to your wife at night because you take out your hearing aids and you're dead to the world. So he really, I'm talking for you now. You can tell the story, but
Love
he
it.
relies on his wife. If there's a break-in or anything, he hears nothing, and it
Yeah.
was sort of the seed of that story.
yeah. I mean, one time I was living in an apartment in Trinity Bellwoods here in Toronto, and a guy who I knew who lived in the building was moving out, and I'd been living there for a few years at that point, and I said, "Oh, you're going to be sad to be leaving this building?" He was like, "I won't be sad for those fire alarms that go off once a month, and we're all out there in the middle of the night freezing our butts off." And I'd been living there for a couple years at that point, and I hadn't gone out once for any of those.
Oh,
I'd been sleeping through them. So that was one of those moments where I was like, "Oh, if that was a real fire alarm, I'd be dead." So I constantly think about how vulnerable I am while I sleep. So the appraiser is taking advantage of that vulnerability
Yeah.
very
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she needs a little slap on the wrist for sure. And you know, and I was going to ask you whether any of this had been based on your experiences. So I take it now that quite a few things have been.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of the hearing stuff is based on real stuff, whether it's an elevated version or a manifestation of a fear that I have. Like, I'm on the road a lot doing comedy, so I'm always concerned about people breaking into my hotel room because I'm very vulnerable. So those kind of moments. And then the actual store is based on, I worked at a used sporting goods store when I was in high school. So it's kind of, you know, that's the seed of the idea. It comes from me actually working at a store just like One More Time.
Best of luck and keep doing it. And I hope you go to the States and everywhere.
I just set up a bidet in the bathroom.
Our customers shop here because they know we care. Ma'am, I got what you need.
I'll scream.
You will take what I give you!
This one's good.
DJ?
We understand them. Is there sound coming out? We listen.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Shots fired!
You know, I don't know sign language.
What?
You heard of hearing too? Was your worst fear also
Not hearing the fire alarm and your skin melting down to the skeleton?
Well, this is terrific.